Hello guys, welcome back to the Awesome Bros channel. Today we'll be going over really cool chess tactics and some opening principles which may you not be aware of, and this can make you look like a genius to your friends and family. So stay tuned to the end and please keep on watching the Awesome Bros chess videos. So we know that any piece that's on the queen side, okay, other than the queen, is the defender piece. So this would be called the defender's rook, defender's knight, and defender bishop. And on the king's side, other than the king, will be called the attacker's piece or the aggressive piece. This would be the attacker's bishop, attacker's knight, and attacker's rook. A lot of times when you do checkmates, you usually use the attacker pieces more than defensive pieces. And when you want to, defend your king or your castling, you usually use the defensive pieces. That's why when you castle, a lot of times you castle on the king side because that puts your rook into a play so that it's being aggressive and it eyes down this whole row. So now, um, that's one important thing I just want to say before we get started. Also, you see, we say that these four squares are the most important squares, but actually, instead of those four squares, actually eight important squares. Yeah, those are called the midfield squares. So the midfield squares are c4, c5, d4, d5, e4, e5, and f4 and f5. And every piece has its own specific area in the midfield. So you want to make sure you try to put your piece not like really fast, like you're moving that piece twice just to get there, but you want to make sure at the end, maybe at least in the middle of the game or the later opening game, okay, you want to make sure your piece is right there. So for the defender's knight for white, the best place is this, which is the um, D excuse me E4. Yes, you are kind of hindering this place, but I'm just saying you want to, if you after you get rid of your pawn, that's what I'm saying. After you get rid of your pawn, you just want to get it there. For your attacker's knight, okay, the best place is not E4, but it's E5. Now there's something called the 32 square rule. Now, what that means is after 32 squares, every king has its own 32 squares. What that means is its area. After you cross the 32 square vicinity, so with white, this is the 32 square vicinity, this knight crossed it. So he's ready to attack. So, of course, they're trying to kick this knight out because whenever a knight is attacking, that's dangerous. So, beware of the danger. So, so of course, you know, he would kick you out. That's why don't go right away. After maybe get rid of some of the pawns, come there. So that's the most important place for the attacker's knight. Now, remember when you talk about midfield positioning, it's only for knights and bishop. For rooks, there's no positioning. Obviously, the king you don't want to get it all the way there because that's like the king out in the open. And queen, people are still debating whether or not because you don't know whether queen's supposed to be aggressive or defensive. Because if you're in the lower hand, okay, so if your opponent's in the upper hand, you want the queen to be a little more defensive, protecting the king. If you're in the upper hand, of course, you want the queen to be aggressive, try checkmating the other king. So that's why you don't get the queen necessarily out. You look at the game, you look at the psychology, if he's starting out with his defender knight opening, he's more of a, defensive guy. He doesn't want to get aggressive right away. But if he's getting his attacker's knight right away, getting ready to attack, you want to look at him play as so. I am making a video right on how to face an aggressive player and how to face a defensive player. So if you're doubtful on how to face an aggressive or defensive player, don't forget to check them out. Now, anyways, back to the topic. The best square for the dark squared bishop, which is your defender's bishop, is um C4. Now you're wondering what purpose is this? What your purpose is, since obviously you can't check using the dark squared bishop, which is your defender's bishop, at least try to weaken the king's queen side. Because the defender's bishop is usually there to weaken the queen side. So what you're doing is kind of weakening the queen side. So that's the main part here. The most important square for the light squared bishop or your attacker's bishop, which is your most important bishop, is this square. It is C4. Now you're wondering why isn't the king supposed to be here? So shouldn't I move it here? No, because you don't want to directly move it there. And the next you want to kind of weaken this side because in this side is where he would want to castle because your Darksword Bishop is already, kind of eyeing down this player is already weakening down the queen side. So you want to weaken down the king side so the king can't castle, and then you develop your pieces right there. So that's for white. The most important square is for white. White. Now let's see for black. For black's defender knight, the best square is this. It's e5. Now e5 is defender because it's not crossing, it's a black vicinity. It's between the 32 square vicinity for black, so it's not attacking. Now for the other the king's side knight, which is the attacker's knight, obviously the best move would be to come to a more aggressive square, which is to e4. Now, if you notice, both the defender's knight for white and the defender's knight, the attacker's knight for black, both share the same square, which is exactly why you should start to grab the place first, and then that's why you want to control the place. That's why they say the center is more aggressive because even though in the midfield the center is the most aggressive place in the midfield, that's why they call it the center. The center, these four squares are in the center of the board and they're in the center of the midfield. So that's what you want to get first. The best square for your defender's bishop for black is right here. It is f5. Why you do this is because you're weakening down the queen side. That's the point. You use your defender's bishop to weaken down the queen side. You use your attacker's bishop to weaken down the king side and give check. So like that. So now you probably would have guessed the next move for black, the best square for the dark squared bishop, which is black's most important bishop, is most probably, you know, um, this square is most probably um C5. Now you notice that some squares of the midfield aren't being occupied, but still, these are the main gist of which squares you should conquer and make sure that you do get this. Of course, if this knight was here, you couldn't put it there because that would have been an easy take. But then that's why you want to wait for some of the pawns to kind of, be killed or out of the game so you can position it and make sure you get to first because as I said for one example, the defender's knight for white and the attacker's knight for black both share the same square. That is the best square for them. So in that case, you want to make sure that you conquer the one before. So if black conquers that square before white does, he has an advantage. So really, let's there. So each side has four pieces that are supposed to be positioned. So if black has three of his four pieces positioned in the right place, and white only has two of his four pieces positioned in the right place, black has an advantage. So that's one way. But you want to make sure you don't run into right away. You don't want to move a piece twice and then get it into a square. It's not like an army procedure. It's more like you get it to a piece, that you calmly do it. Okay, it's like it's sort of a game. So by the mid game or the late opening stage, your at least two of your four pieces should be placed, and really you should look if you're playing as black, take advantage of the fact that white is playing number one. He's playing first. For example, if white plays this move, he's a very defensive player because he's moving his defender's knight first. So don't go aggressive on him because so if he's going defensive on you, think, should I go defensive on him? Like I said before, I have a video. I'm making a video on how to face a defensive player, how to face an offensive player. Check that out. But if he's playing defensive, use your mind and play defensive against him. Don't play aggressive because aggressive and defending is two opposite. You'd never know who's gonna win because a defensive player obviously won't be attacking, so your king is safe, but he won't let you attack either. So That's why if he's going aggressive, you go aggressive. If he's going defensive, you go defensive. Defensive. So you want to use those flight psychology. That's one of the tactics, and try to do a lot of zuzuving. What zuzuvings are they are types of moves that you do that surprise your opponent. For example, um let's say white does this move and then black does this move. A zuzurang is like if the knight killed this piece. Now, why is a surprise? Because white, I mean black, didn't think that you would take a pawn for a knight. He didn't think that, right? So that's a Zuzubing. Try to do Zuzubing that make your opponent. Because whenever you given, because chess is all about two things: exploiting your enemy's weakness. So look at him. Does he have a weakness? Exploit it. Then after that, use your own strategy and don't forget, guys. Um, this is some of the tactics. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I make a lot of videos on chess. I make a lot of videos on random things. I make it on Legos, Magic. I would make it on, other cool stuff. I make a lot of videos on chess. I love to play chess. Tell me in the comment section below how long you've been chess, how much you like chess, and if you want any video requirements, please feel free to type them below. And also, like anytime, please subscribe to the channel if you like this video. I'll be making videos on traps. I'll be making videos on, videos like this, any malicious video, any videos on random things in chess. If you want any specific requirement, just type in the comment section below. And that's it, guys. This is the video for today. If you guys um subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Love you guys.